Hello and welcome back to the farm. Before we dive into today's video, I have a quick confession to make. Whilst listening back to some of the audio from previous episodes, I realised that it wasn't exactly great. And after doing a bit of research, I found out the issue. My microphone is directional and I had it facing completely the wrong way. But don't worry now, that's all been fixed and hopefully you can tell the difference. In the last episode, we made a new field and got some silage prepared, which we might even be able to sell today as it is already 67% fermented. I think that we'll start off by getting some wheat in the ground in the new field and see what the rest of the day has in store for us. Luckily for us, we are in the last month possible to get winter wheat in before we transition into winter. I wish we had a bigger drill, but we'll have to start off with the smaller one. But yeah, if we can get the wheat in the ground today, that would be excellent. And I realised that I made a couple of mistakes in my last video. The field which we'd planted over here doesn't need a second application of fertiliser, as we'd ploughed in the field. So that counts as basically our first layer of fertiliser. So if I go and look at the map and then change the filter to soil composition, you can see we have our first application of fertiliser. What I think we should do though, before we seed this field, is we're going to put in a layer of fertiliser, and that'll just prepare the field ready for the seed bed, and we can get the wheat sown into it. And as promised, this is the 4th episode this week. I must admit, I'm not super happy with how last episode turned out. It took me 2 days of editing, and I'm not sure it was the best quality that I could have done. So I'm trying to keep my focus on video quality and maintaining consistency and viewability for you guys. I don't want it just to be super tedious. So while he gets on with that, we're going to take a quick wander over to our new yard. But now we are amassing ourselves a good collection of things to do around the yard. We have one pallet of lettuce, and we should be ready to spawn another one shortly. I have noticed I have been saying "so" a lot. My new goal in videos going forwards is to not say "so" as often, because it just doesn't sound great. When I'm editing through and all I hear is me say "so" 1,500 times, it's not the best. Our new field does look very good though. It's an unusual shape, but it really fits into the area we cleared out. It shouldn't really take long for this worker to get around the field and finish off. I have just realised that I have the worker to pay for fertiliser turned on. I'm just going to turn that off, because that's going to be costing us an absolute fortune. And we need to save all the money we have at the moment. We still do have plenty of trees to work through on our parcel of land. And we've got quite a few weeds now growing through on the field over here. It is too late for us to come over with a hoe. We could look at getting a sprayer, maybe a cheap one, and spraying the field off. But I think for this first crop in the field, we'll probably avoid doing that. Now, we do only have £5,000 in the bank today, so I'm not really sure what we're going to do with that money, whether we save it and look towards maybe getting ourselves a new tractor for the farm. I'm trying to avoid buying things unnecessarily for the farm. He says whilst paying for an AI to do one of the easiest jobs on the farm. What I'm going to do is just jump in here, fire off this worker, and just do this last part. It's the tiniest sliver, and I don't really want to be paying for a worker to do that. So it's hopefully I can just spin round like so on the spot and get a good coverage. There we go. That's our first level of fertilizer, first application of fertilizer on this field. What I do is just drop our fertilizer spreader there, and we'll get connected up to the seeder. I hope you guys are having a good weekend. I certainly am. And I've come to realise that I really do enjoy making these videos, so hopefully I should be able to work a little bit harder on getting them out and trying to improve their quality for you guys too. So we're going to change over to wheat. There we go, and I will get the field set up for steering assist. One headland. That looks good, so we can get that set up and going. Are you guys also playing Farming Sim 25? If you are, let me know in the comments down below. What farm did you guys pick to start on? I originally started on the Hutan Pantai map as I wanted to experience it, as we've had quite a few American maps, and I thought it would be nice to play something that wasn't just specifically an American map. I'm also still eagerly awaiting the release of Calmston Farm by Oxygen David. And I think when we get the official release through Giants, I will be starting a second series on that map. Just trying to find some British buildings and vehicles that you'd typically find on British farms, whether old or new, to really add to the series. But it's just currently a waiting game at the moment, just waiting for it to come out and be available to us. I know a couple of YouTubers have been playtesting the map and just doing some bug tests really to make sure that the map is polished and ready to be reviewed by Giants. I did play a lot of it on FS22. Actually had a multiplayer playthrough with a couple of friends, which was very fun. It does have a lot of large fields on there, so it can be quite a bit of work getting the fields done. But I definitely like the appeal of a map that feels very native, and it is based in the Gloucestershire area, so just bordering between England and Wales. We've got lots of rolling countryside. So yeah, I'm very excited for the release of that, if you couldn't tell. Just going to finish this row off. What I'm going to do is talk to you guys back when I finish seeding the field. So I just have this very last little strip to complete on the field. You didn't think I was going to miss it, did you? And once this is complete, we can have a look at our seeded field. What I'll do this time is I will reverse the seeder in. That's not to get it trapped in a very awkward position. Free bit of brand advertising there from my camera. Not sure why it likes to zoom in right on the John Deere logo as we go into the shed. But here we have it. A 50% fertilized field of wheat, which we will use ultimately as feed for our chickens, so we can produce eggs. I have decided to do a wood transport contract just to bolster our money a little bit. Now there is one for £11,000, but it is 29 logs. I think I'm going to prefer to do one that's just a few logs like this one. 15 logs I think is the maximum we can fit onto our trailer. Accept this contract. Now it is the other side of the map. So it's going to take us a little while to get over there. We'll get connected up to our logging trailer. And before we head off, Just going to have a little look to see how our silage is doing. Oh, it's up to 80% now. That's good. Right. Let's make our way over there. Not really sure the best path to take. I just don't want to get stuck in the middle of the forest. But you'll get a decent view through the forest as we drive over there. A bit of an ad hoc tour for today. Now, I believe there are a couple of buildables on the map, but I don't think you can make money by delivering materials to them. As on my playtesting map, I'd taken logs over there, well not logs, sorry, planks and beams, and I didn't make any money from it, so not really sure what was going on there. It does get a bit hilly as we go through the forest, so hopefully we're not going to get stuck going up here. Well, fingers crossed anyway. But yeah, 15 logs to collect, and we take them over to the sawmill and get them sold for our customer. And that should net us £6,000. I have just noticed one of the buildables is over here. What we can do is take a quick detour and have a look at it. This hill is rather steep, but we should be fine. There we go. So you can deliver materials here. And as I say, looking at the sale points, if we look at the sale points for planks, we do have the buildable log cabin, which is the one in front of me, and there is another buildable log cabin. But when I dropped off some planks and beams during playtesting, I didn't get paid for it, and I was quite disappointed, as it was probably £50,000 worth of material. Yeah, I really needed the money on that playthrough, so I was very annoyed that I didn't get paid. Does look like it's going to be downhill from here. We're not exactly heading in the right direction, but what I'll do is I'll adjust my course and make sure we end up heading the right way. So if you are going to be playing this map, there are a lot of plots on here, as you can see. I believe there is 69 plots of land. Each one comes with a mixture of logs and open areas, so you can create your own custom fields on those plots. I like having the opportunity to build my own farm and sort of plan out where I want it to be and end up, and sort of set the fields out accordingly. We have just rolled over another hour of leasing, so £1,000 has just come out of our bank account for that. Just took me a little while to figure out what was going on, as I see the pop-up for £1,008 for vehicle leasing. I was like, haven't just leased a vehicle? And then I remembered that our John Deere tractor is a rental, so we are being charged for using it. Just through the clearing here, we have the logs, and we'll get these loaded onto our tractor. Just hoping that they all fit, and it looks like that they do. So we'll head over to the sawmill and get these sold. Right guys, I'll see you over there. Here we are, arriving back at what is starting to feel like our second home. Ready to unload these contract logs. As I mentioned earlier, I feel like I'm stuck a little bit in a rut at the moment, in terms of making money. What I need to do is just try and get a little bit tighter so we can get those logs all on the trigger. There we go, like that. Or not. We'll get these first few sold. Get these other couple loaded up and drop back in. There we go. That contract is now finished. We can collect our money. That does leave us with £10,000. What I think would be a really good money earner for us is to have our own sawmill. But I believe the cheapest one to purchase is £36,000. So we're a bit of a ways off being able to afford that. But it'd be great to have our own planks and beams to sell. Especially as I believe a pallet of beams will sell for between £18,000 and £22,000, depending on price fluctuations. But we just really need to hope that our silage has progressed a little bit. Because if we could get that sold today, that would be another £10,000. Looks like the farm next to us has finally put some crop into the field. Maybe they might have a contract to fertilise. If they do, that would be very good. Again, we'll drop the logging trailer off next to the silo. Just like that. It may be worth actually looking to see if field number 1 does have any contracts on it. No, the only contract for field work is ploughing on field number 3, and it's quite a large field, and for £710 it doesn't really feel worth it. I think what I'm going to do is have a sleep, and I will see you guys in the morning. So here we are, it's the next morning, we're in November now, and our silage has finished fermenting. So what we can do is open up the pit, and we're going to need some way of getting our silage into a trailer. So I think what I'm going to do is head to the store and add a front loader attacher to this, and we could potentially get either the John Deere or the TheQuietAcre front loader, a bucket and a trailer, so we can load our silage and get it sold. I don't know if I can make modifications to this tractor because it is rented. I'm hoping that I can. If not, we may look at renting another tractor. Yeah, so we can't customize it. So I think what I'm going to do is return this tractor, as it's sort of surpassed our needs now. There we go. We get that returned. And we can look at renting a new tractor. I think this time round, I'm going to go for a medium-sized tractor. Now, there is this 175 horsepower John Deere. I'm not sure if the Challenger can have a front load attachment put on it. No. So the next cheapest one that we can go for would be another John Deere. So what we're going to do is lease this. And the John Deere front loader too, we can lease that. We're also going to need, I don't know whether the silage is able to go on the manure fork or whether we do need to just use the universal bucket. So what I'll do is I'll lease this as well. And we are going to need a trailer to load up. Maybe we go for a slightly smaller one, like the class one here. There we go, that's a little bit cheaper. And I think, given that we're using a front loader, it would be useful for us to have a rear weight on the tractor as well, just so we're not tipping over. There we go. What I'm going to do is get the front loader connected onto the tractor, the rear weight put on, and the bucket attached. And we can go over to the farm, and we can start loading up some of the silage. Now that we are using a front loader, I think it's probably best for us to stop using the auto load and actually manually load up our tractor. I think this rear weight is attached from the other side. Yep, it definitely is. So just quickly drive around the rear here and we can get this rear weight attached. Try not to crash into our trailer. There we go. And I believe this rear weight has a hitch on it, which will allow us to connect up to the trailer, as it is a pin hitch trailer rather than a ball hitch. There we have it, our new tractor for the farm and a trailer in preparation for when we do start harvesting our fields. You can see our wheat has begun growing. I think what I'll do is I'm going to drop this trailer here, crash into our water butt, and we can start loading it up. So for the front loader, I am using the Thrustmaster Simtar Simstick. I feel it just makes the job a little bit easier when it comes to using the arm controls. I also use it for forestry equipment and driving other vehicles which have quite complex arm controls on them. Don't think I quite lifted the bucket high enough that time. plan now is just to get this last load of silage sold and see what our grand total is for the day. Took a little longer than I was expecting to get the trailer loaded up, but we do finish today on £20,000, and I think that's all we have time for today. Thank you very much for coming to watch. I appreciate your viewership, and as always, I'll see you in the next one.